Stop! I will see some buffalo!
Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome to another edition of Crisis Corner. This episode is when we're going to take a look at the police state that's encroaching all around us. I wanted to lead in with that video of Zachary Hammond because everybody seems to think that this police brutality and all these things that we're starting to see as far as the system making its push is that it's driven by racism. Actually, it's not. There's surprising research that shows it's pretty much about equal, if not biased to some degree, as to the amount of killings that's occurring on every single side, both white, black, Asian, Hispanic, Mexican, Indian, European, it doesn't matter. The fact is that here in police state America, they are starting to advance the agenda of police brutality, of the depopulation and dehumanization campaign. That's why we're seeing all kinds of different things, such as raids, such as, like I said, the no-knock raids, people just being detained for no real reason, and all kinds of different things that are happening as far as our judicial system. There's all kinds of different things that are happening here in the country as far as what rights we have. And that's why we're seeing so much chaos and so much turmoil, because it doesn't make sense and because they're trying to neutralize the rights that we actually have. Do you see how they're treating people inside of schools, the places where they're supposed to be getting an education? Do you see how they treat the actual students as if they were some kinds of inmates? This is in police state America, 2016. This is what they're trying to do. No longer, like I've been saying, do we have the rules of our own country? The Constitution, the Bill of Rights, they're gone. Okay. We're seeing what happens whenever we sign ourselves over to global treaties. And this is insane that we have to deal with this. And it's not racial. But what they're trying to do is play at the racial angle. That way we try to incite a racial civil war. I wish people would stop being so one-sided about this and would see it in a multi-dimensional fashion. Don't you understand that if they're coming for simply the black man, that means that they're coming for the white man eventually? Or actually, they need the white man. They will subsequently come for all of the other minorities. They will come for all the other people that won't stand up. The people that keep saying, oh, this will never happen to me. This won't happen. I'm perfectly fine. Those are the same people that are voting for others to die. When will we stand up for it? When will we say no? When will we say enough is enough? Look at this article right here. It tells us, your home can be SWAT raided for gardening and drinking tea, says a federal judge. This has happened for a while now. We've heard about no-knock raids. We've heard about searches and seizures. We've heard about the FBI merging criminal and civilian fingerprint databases. So they're getting all kinds of different sting operations mixed up, and this is now happening. But you don't have rights, and this is why they're trying to take the guns, is because if they had no defenses, if they didn't have someone there or some kind of roadblock in which the people could protect themselves, then it's free range for the system. It's free range for them to do whatever they would like. And that's why we need to stand up. Not for simply your race. Don't be one-sided. For the world. Okay, right now we need to start looking at it as this is no longer a local issue. Okay, we are now thinking on a local scale, acting on a global fashion. Okay? This is where we need to go. As I said before, this is why they're coming to take the guns. Look at all this chaos that's ensuing. Even in foreign countries, they know the system is trying to oppress us. It is our time now to fight back. And yeah, we may suffer a few losses, but the victory overall is what we need to focus on. The only reason they have all of these amenities is because we gave it to them. And look at what they've done with the power. They've tried to oppress the people. They've tried to keep us in shackles. In France, and this is what I really want people to focus on and pay attention to, because I've said this in my posts and in my articles and in other videos, Look at what happened in France. Look at how fast they were able to react. Look at how fast they came together, and look at what happened as the peripheral events unfolded. They had troops walking down the street as if nothing was wrong. They had people going door to door. They had all different kinds of road place or checkpoints in place. Look at the subsequent actions of these false flags, okay? And when this happens here in Police State America, what they do is they do a check and mate. They make these problems occur, and then they have the police back them up whenever we try to start something, whenever we try to say something about how they made mistakes in their plans or how we've caught them in the lie. And what do they do? They try to shoot us back. They try to shut us up. They try to diminish our efforts. All the things that we're trying to do. And that's okay, because that gives us only that much more credibility. If it wasn't important, why are they trying to fight back? Why are they trying to shut up the small efforts that we do? And this is what happens when we come together as a team. Whenever we say, no, whoa, hey, this is wrong. We should pay attention to it. And that's exactly what we're doing. In September of 2015, police in Buffalo set forth a plan to start confiscating firearms of legal gun owners days within their death. Okay? This is one more step for the gun control advocates to have complete disarmament. I know it sounds wild, but what happened? What did we see just the other day? That they're going to start trying to confiscate guns January 1st in California? And I'm not sure if you've noticed, but Barack Obama has to have a report as far as what's happening with the Arms Trade Treaty in respect to the United Nations by May of 2016. We have UX 16, which is also the continuation of Jade Helm 15, happening in March. Do you see how all of these things are setting up? Do you see how Jade Helm was a precursor to a larger scale? Do you see what they're trying to do? The police state, which we're talking about right here, this is only one aspect of it. What we're seeing with the whole dehumanization campaign, having them kill us, having them not respect our rights, having them just invade our privacy to where we're pretty much just slaves to the state. When we're having this agenda being advanced, it's towards a larger goal, and we really need to look at that. That's all I'm saying in all of these videos.
Back to handguns. My name is Gene Wojciechowski. Recently, Australia managed to get away or take away tens of thousands, millions of handguns. And in 1 year, they're all gone. Can we do that? And why, if we can't, why can't we?
Hold on. Before I let Ms. Clinton answer, I'm going to throw my 2 cents into the ring. I've actually lived in Australia, and some of the things that are happening over there are social economic issues. I'm not saying anything against it. They're actually doing relatively well, depending on your assessment. It's a mix between the UK and Great Britain. It's fantastic, really. The people are awesome. But what they're speaking on is before Western civilization came to Australia, there was a culture there, the Aborigines, and pretty much what happened is Australia got colonized by Great Britain, pretty much dumping prisoners on there, and then essentially saying, live here, do these things. So obviously that formed all kinds of different socio-economic issues. The people that lived there pretty much got Columbused by Great Britain, and it's all kinds of different things. But that's a little bit of the history as far as Australia. The point I'm trying to make is, as far as gun control, what that does is that documents you, that puts you in a category to where you could be labeled as politically dissident, or at least politically conscious, or at least politically exposed. When you do these types of things, you label yourselves, you get yourself out there. And that's not good, because what happens whenever you've bought too many guns this month? Red flag. We're going to have to detain you or shut down your assets or anything of the like. The idea of being able to buy back your property from God knows who is atrocious. So let's see what Hillary Clinton has to say about that.
You know, Australia is a good example. Canada is a good example. The UK is a good example. Why? Because each of them had mass killings. Australia had a huge mass killing about 25 years ago. Canada did as well. So did the UK. And in reaction, they passed much stricter gun laws. In the Australian example, as I recall, that was a buyback program. The Australian government, as part of trying to clamp down on the availability of automatic weapons, offered a good price for buying hundreds of thousands of guns, and then they basically clamped down going forward in terms of having, more of a background check approach, more of a permitting approach. But they believed, and I think the evidence supports them, that by offering to buy back those guns, they were able to, curtail the supply and to set a different standard for gun purchases in the future. Now, communities have done that in our country. Several communities have done gun buyback programs. But I think it would be worth considering doing it on the national level if that could be arranged. Remember, I know after the terrible 2008 financial crisis, I think one of the programs that President Obama was able to get in place was cash for clunkers. Remember that? Getting them off the road. And it was partly a way to get people to buy new cars because we wanted more economic activity, and it was partly a way to get old models that were polluting too much sort of off the road. So I think that's worth considering. I don't know enough details to tell you how we would do it or how it would work, but certainly the Australian example is worth looking at. Thank you.
And as I've said before, I've got nothing against Australia, but what happens whenever we start taking different social and political structures from countries which are not compatible with our own? Look at this article. Australians will lose welfare payments if they don't vaccinate their child. And I know you're thinking, wow, that sounds insane. Wow, that sounds gnarly. Well, that's 2016. That's what they're trying to have you think and get your mind prepared for. Obey Big Brother. And if you try to violate these types of things, you will be enforced by the Gestapo Nazi police known as the Civil Protectors. We already have this as far as mandatory child vaccinations. Look up SB 277. Children are required to have mandatory vaccinations before elementary schools. And I could make a video and talk for days on the adverse effects of mumps, measles, and rubella, and all the other vaccines and things they're doing to toxinate or intoxicate the children that are coming into being. It's insane. So whenever we're throwing out all kinds of outlandish things like, oh, we should be more like this, or oh, we should be more like that, or oh, we should go do these types of things, we really need to take a look at where the origins of this is based in. And if you're thinking, why is all this happening? Well, as I've said before, look at the origins. Go back to my video where I talk about eugenics, self-guiding human evolution. People that believe that they have the capabilities so that they should be the best, they should be the supreme rulers. And these are the kind of mindsets we're going against. These people have no idea what it means to be human. That's why I really don't agree with people saying I can just take orders. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just following orders. Well, look at what happened to the Nazis. They were just following orders. You think they ended up trying to exterminate almost 20 million Russians and like 6 million Jews? And look at what happened subsequently from just following orders. If you want to hear something crazy, let me tell you about how close we are as far as the Nazi police state and our own American police state.
We cannot continue to rely only on our military in order to achieve the national security objectives that we've set. We've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful, just as strong, just as well funded.
And look, I'm not saying these kids are going to grow up and they're going to be the next SAS or the next Special Forces or the next, whoever, the next Navy SEALs. But I'm saying the idea is being put out there that they need to have a civilian force, someone that does not answer to our government, that doesn't answer to feds, that doesn't answer or have a chain of command. They only answer to Obama. And what is that? That's the SS. Those are the Nazi SS. These all come from nationalist, socialist ideas. Why do you think they're trying to keep us all in a tizzy, keep us in this form of constant hate and constant anger to where we have to try to direct it out somewhere. They're trying to play the race card like no other. Before Obama came into office, we were trying to fix race relations. Yes, there was some still hostility amongst us all, but we were still trying to fix it. And now it's more prevalent than ever. And who's to say that just because this doesn't happen, Islamists or Muslims or radical Muslims or even radical Christians, people that are just angry and upset with things, don't come out of the woodworks to try to quote unquote do something, to stand up, to believe that they have the right to stand for a cause, to fight for the right cause. And this is all taking place in this Nazi police state we call America. Who knows? I could be overreacting. What do you guys think? Feel free to let me know what you think in the comment section below, or if you want to have a private conversation, email me. I'll have it in the description bar underneath all this. As always, guys, stay vigilant, expose lies, and share truth. This is Freedom Faction, out.